What is up, Internet? JD Duck here, and we officially have our very first episode. No more intro videos, no more channel trailers. We have an episode of Arma 3 Hunter 6 Special Operations Unit. And it's 04:30 in the morning here in Altus, Greece. And we are going to go meet our team that is going to help us recover a couple of CIA agents, which we have no idea where they are currently. We don't really know a whole lot, actually, other than we need to find them. So today's mission will be to go out and interact with the civilian populace, gather some intel, and see what we can find out. So we're going to select our guys, and the guys that I typically like to go with to start with are Vega, Jax, Razor, and Frost. Reason being is that Vega is an automatic rifleman. He's also your second in command. Jackson is a medic, so it's important to have one of those with you for obvious reasons. Having EOD is fairly important for blowing up assets that you don't want to have the enemy to have, and an engineer obviously is important to have to repair assets that you want to utilize. So I think that's kind of my dream team, if you will. But you don't get to use the same team every time because they get fatigued, so you have to rest. So there's going to be times where you're just going to have to mix it up, which is awesome because it gives some variety to this game. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to swap out gear because some of these guys are kind of bare. I mean, my guy's totally bareheaded, and just going into combat with nothing on your head isn't recommended. So the first thing we do is we open up the empty crate, drop all the things that we don't want. I don't like to carry a plain old binoculars. I like to grab a rangefinder. I also don't like the traditional RCO. The one thing you guys need to understand is that there's no mods running on this except for one that I'll tell you about when it comes up in the video later. It's pretty exciting, and I'll link it in the description. But I'm not running any kind of weapon mods or anything, so this is pure vanilla Arma. And this mission actually operates best that way. Some of the mods that expand the weapons and items have a tendency to create invisible enemies and things like that. So what we're looking at is a 6.5mm weapon with a suppressor that I'm adding right now. I'm carrying a rangefinder. I'm going to have to grab a backpack at some point, and of course my boonie hat. Gonna grab my GPS, a couple of extra first aid kits. I'll grab a couple extra magazines. And then a backpack. Magazines. There's magazines. Assault pack. And the other thing I'm going to grab is a couple extra smoke grenades and some 40 mic ammo, because 40 mic ammo is awesome. And smoke grenades are incredibly important to create concealment when you're in the open and you have no cover or concealment anywhere. I also bring a couple explosive charges with me, just in case you need to create a door. So we're all geared up. I didn't show you gearing up the rest of the guys because it was pretty much the same thing as everything else, just that we did it on different guys. You press the U key on your keyboard to be able to switch between your teammates, and you can double click on them and actually change their gear also. So we're going to be loading up in a helicopter here. And we're actually going to take the Little Bird, just because when I'm rolling as a smaller fire team, I like to go with the more agile and inconspicuous chopper, and also it can land in a little bit tighter zones safely without having any issues. So we're going to get our guys all to load up. If you hit the tilde key on your keyboard, you select your entire AI squad and can give them commands with the number pad. I'm sorry, not number pad, but number keys across the top of the keyboard. And then if you want to select individual teammates, you'll see on the bottom left of your screen there's a 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm 1. You can do it with the F key, so F2 for 2, F3 for 3. What we're doing on the map here right now is we're setting up our landing zone, also a couple of just waypoints, basically, because you're 100%, and I don't actually like, you can shift click on the map and it gives you a waypoint. I don't actually like to use that, because I came from a realism unit where we actually had to do a training in land navigation, and they actually drop you in the middle of nowhere, and you have to figure out where you are and use your topographical map and 6-digit grid coordinates and things like that. So I like to keep the realism going in my single player modes, but if you want to use those waypoints, I will not make fun of you for that. So now that we got those all set up, we're going to hop in the chopper, and you can see the radio interface to get the chopper actually taking us somewhere. You just click to drop off at point in RTB. You choose your LZ, which we've already designated on the map, which makes it easier for us to find. And we are off. Takes a little bit to spool up. Typically put my guys on hold fire during the flight just so that they don't attract attention to enemies that aren't already alerted. Also, if we land in a place where we're actually in cover and they don't see us, I don't want them to engage enemies without my permission, if that makes sense. So the way you do that is you just hit the tilde key again, and you'll see on your scroll, with your scroll wheel on your mouse, you can actually go through a bit of a menu. Once you're highlighted the one you want, you click in on your mouse wheel. Or the default, you can also press the space key, but I deleted that in my settings. It's a little bit long of a flight, so we'll probably cut a little bit of here, but it gets kind of majestic and I get zoned out sometimes just watching the helicopters. Future videos, I'll actually show you guys me as a pilot. Okay, so we are about to arrive at our landing zone. You can see it on the GPS, which is Control M, and it's right Control M to turn on your GPS. We're actually taking shots. Not sure where. Looks like it might be behind us. Oh shit, I'm hit. I need to get on the ground. So I just told my guys to open fire. Oh, there they are. I see them in the trees directly behind the chopper, directly to our 6 o'clock. So I'm going to get my guys to disembark, and then I'm going to get the F out also. So I need to treat myself, so I'm going to get in cover here. Can't treat myself yet because we're still under fire. I'm going to move my guys inside this compound. And you saw that little arrow pop up. That was me. I had those guys selected. I told them to move. So I'm going to cover, or I'm going to treat myself while they're moving into a more of an assault position. Hopefully they can lay down a base of fire and I can take one of them with me and we can maneuver. Told them to stay low. Moving them up a little bit closer to that wall. Then I'm going to flank around to the left. Make sure you guys look in windows when you run through places too. Don't just look through doors and pie doors. You need to look through windows when you run past them too. Not like I just did there. So I'm going to move 2 of my guys up there. Now I'm going to lob a grenade over this fence. That's exactly where they were coming from. Okay, so when I told you that I was using one mod, this is it. It's pretty awesome, guys. It's called the Get Tactical Interface. I believe you can find it on the Steam Workshop. If you can't, you can find it on Armaholic. But what it does is basically with the press of the caps lock button, you turn this into a pausable RTS interface. So if you don't like the way that I've been telling you with the tilde key and the individual selection and things to move the AI around, you can actually do it through this menu. I'd recommend looking up a full tutorial on it. I'll probably do one in the future, but there is a feature of it, a bit of a feature of it on the Armaholic page. There's a quick video of it already. So I'll post the link to that in the description, like I said, guys, but it basically makes Arma a completely different game. So if you're not even a big fan of a first-person shooter, you can take that RTS involvement to a whole new level. I mean, you can almost play the whole game that way if you wanted to, or you can use it to blend like I do, where it's just in situations where I need to have more precise control over the AI, I will use that key. But because I've been playing it with the old way so long, sometimes in times of crisis, like when we were under fire there, I just go back to my old roots and press the keys that feel natural to me. So I'll use it intermittently, but if any of you have been hesitant to play Arma and you enjoy games like XCOM or any kind of RTS combat games like that, I would strongly recommend getting the Get Tactical mod and giving Arma a try that way. So I'm having Jax heal up Razor because he's been hit as well, and Vega, who's our automatic rifleman, is up there in the front. He's covering the road like I wanted him to, and for some reason, you'll see the clunkiness of the AI here. When I told them to move up just across the bridge, they decide to go around, and it's actually not unintelligent the way they're going, and it made it to where I could actually move through cover this way, and we had a bit of a wedged assault going, so it wasn't terrible, but it's not what I told them to do. So this seems like it's going to be exciting and we're going to get engaged again, but really what happened was we killed 2 of their guys and then the rest of them ran away. We were not able to find the bodies, so I'm guessing that the AI actually grabbed the bodies kind of like our modern military does when their fellow mates go down. They took the casualties off the field, so wasn't able to get the intel off the bodies. But we got back on mission. We're moving down a ways now. We're back to where we originally started. You can see the waypoints on our GPS. And we're going to go talk to some civilians. We've secured the area already, so I can relax a little bit on my movement. And I'll use the Get Tactical mod just to get my guys, giving us a nice, decent security perimeter while I talk to the civilian. And in a minute, you're going to see one of the only issues, and it may only be an issue that I'm having with the game because I haven't seen it in anybody else's YouTube videos for this, although I've only seen one other series involving Hunter 6. But the civilians just don't render. They just don't show up for me sometimes. Like right here, you'll see I'm running up, and on the GPS it says info. The guy should be right here, and look, it even says talk to man. And I can talk to him, but there's no character model there for me on screen until I interrogate him for 2 hours. And watch. Poof. Oh, he's magically there. So that's unfortunate. It's kind of an immersion breaker, but it's not by any means a deal breaker for me. This is still like by far my favorite top 2. We'll say top 2. It's probably tied with one of my pilot scenarios, but top 2 scenarios that I enjoy in Arma. So we made our way down the road. We didn't take any contact. Nothing exciting happened. We were pretty much just running in formation, so I didn't want to bore you guys. So I cut that, and we are now back, and we found another invisible civilian. This guy actually pops up right now, so he comes up a little bit sooner. So I'm starting to think it might be more of an issue with my GPU and not the game. So I'll look into that. But anyways, we were able to interrogate that guy for 6 hours because we had enough reputation that we were able to give him a 6-hour interrogation and not lose any reputation. We didn't gain any reputation, but we didn't have a penalty, and normally there's a big penalty for doing 6 hours. So we've got a fair amount of intel at this point. We haven't had any new tasks pop up on the menu saying we have enough intel to be able to go do something. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we started at 5 o'clock this morning, so my guys are probably getting a little bit tired. We're not going to hoof it all the way to that extraction point because we've already got a secured area right there, or right here, and the little bird could totally land on this road. So we're just going to have him come and pick us up right here. And again, that's 002. Bring up this transport menu. That's also how you call in CAS, close air support, if in the future, which we will use, I'm certain, especially if we get indication of where there might be an enemy patrol at some point. We'll have to go get eyes on them as a forward observer and call in an attack chopper. But that's for future episodes, hopefully. And the little bird is here. It actually took a little while for him to get here, and I had to patiently wait with my guys keeping security So for realism's sakes, that's great, but I didn't want to crush you guys by watching that. So little bird's coming in. I give little green smoke. That's not required for the bird to land by any means. Just something I do by habit from the realism unit I was in. And if you ask why I did 2, I did it horribly, but typically you do 1 and then another, and you try to put them in line with each other to give the chopper an idea of the direction of approach. And I did not do a good job. My throws both went right into the wall, so. But at least you know what I tried to do and why I threw 2 smokes. Alright, so bird is landed. And you'll notice something off here. Huh. Why are there only 3 guys? Where's my 4th guy? I had to go find him. Vega, my 2IC, was lost. I don't know where he was, but I found him. He was running back, a ways back. I think he was back where we were talking to the last civilian for some reason. Maybe he was having a beer with him or something. But anyways, we found him. We're back in the bird. It's kind of dangerous for us to have the bird on the ground that long. Anyways, we're off. We're not going all the way back to base, though. What we're going to do is we're going to head back to FOB Spartan, regroup, rearm if necessary, probably check out to see if anybody's got any wounds that need more healing than just field treatment, and see what we can do for our next assignment to gather more intel. Alright, so we are here at FOB Spartan. There's actually 2 other FOBs on this map that are going to have vehicles. You see that white truck in front of me? That's going to come into play in another episode. There's 3 spots on the map where you have aid requests that you can deliver that aid truck. And they're color-coded by difficulty, so we're going to go for the red one, which is the hardest. Just not yet. We're going to wait till we get more intel about AA positions and possible patrols and things like that. So, we're all unloaded. We got pretty much everything we need to do for right now, so I think we can send the bird back to base. And I think that's probably a good spot for us to end the episode. We'll regroup, rearm, and be back for another mission next time. Until then, game on, gamers.